Welcome to the Investor Coaching Show, a podcast to help you get an insider's view of the financial world and escape common investment traps. We look at the financial news of the day and help you make sense of it so you can relax about money. And here's your host, Paul Winkler.
All right. We're back here on the Investor Coaching Show. Paul Winkler. Dan Hill, Evan Barner on keyboard.
Got the cigarette hanging out of my mouth on that keyboard listening.
Yeah. looking like Ray Charles or something. Okay. Dan, we had jumped into a territory of yours, and then we kind of jumped out of it probably before we should have, or a little bit earlier. We're talking about annuities, and you were talking about it so much how people don't actually use them for what they're designed for. And a lot of people, you hear these commercials. Hey, guaranteed income. You can't run out. We need to use this as part of it's a way to diversify your portfolio by using these products to diversify your investment portfolio. And you need to have one of these things. And a lot of times it's kind of glossed over how much the investment advisor makes selling these products. But you said you've run into a lot of horror stories about that stuff over the years. Tell me.
So you mentioned the statistic earlier about less than 5% of the riders are ever exercised. Mm-hmm. So that's a recent statistic also?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was annuities that are annuitized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I also worked for the same bank as Jonathan many moons in my previous life.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just not in Chattanooga.
I didn't know that.
I was in Virginia. Uh-huh. And, you have different departments there and they're competing. So what they had, this department was selling variable annuities, mm-hmm. and this department was selling long-term care insurance. And when you went to that spiel internally, nobody uses their income riders. But over here, they want you to sell them. And over here, they want you to sell this stuff saying, you don't need an income rider. You need some long-term care insurance. Mm-hmm. And that was a statistic even then, 20 years ago, that less than 5 people ever used that income rider.
Interesting.
And you had mentioned also people don't understand them. Most of the guys selling them don't understand them. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like you said, tons of
So describe them. Describe what an income rider is for the people that don't understand it out there.
So there's a fee associated with it because, as I said a moment ago, nothing's free. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a fee associated with it.
And how it's sold, too. What is it that makes it appealing in the sales process?
Well, it's like you said earlier, the number one fear of people in retirement is I'm going to run out of money. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy to play upon that fear, right? Yeah. Oh, we got something over here you have to worry about. You're never going to run out of money. Mm-hmm. You buy one of these things, it's guaranteed income. Mm-hmm. Now, there's so many things I'm trying. One, it says we'll get 5%, 6%, 7%, even I went to 8% on some of these products over the last few years.
So if you put $100,000 in, a year later it's going to be $105,000. The year after that, probably simple interest, $110,000. Yeah. And then it'll be $115,000 the year after that, $120,000. Your account value will appear to be going up every single year. It looks like it.
Yeah. Key piece.
Yes.
Not your real account value.
That's right, appear. Yes.
But most people think that. So when they come in with their statements and bring them in and say, what's this? Oh, I'm guaranteed 6%. Oh, you are? On what? I'm guaranteed 6%. I said, on what? Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted people to understand that.
It's kind of like Evan said earlier, we don't want to beat up on people and make them feel bad because they haven't done what they thought they did. And you go, no, your real money is growing at over here. So I draw it, the buckets. And then your fake money is guaranteed to ratchet up at 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever.
And they actually use ratchets in the sales presentations. It can't go backwards. It can only go forward.
It's locked in. It's locked in.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. People don't understand it. Mm-hmm. So one of the horror stories that comes to mind. So these things you're guaranteed never to lose any money, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. You can't lose any money. Mm-hmm. This lady comes in and looking at her statements, and she's losing money. Mm-hmm. I'm going, oh my God, what's going on here? Mm. Income rider fee comes out. That fee's on the fake bucket of money. Okay. So the bucket's ratcheting up at 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever. If you're paying 50 bips, 0.5% or 1% or whatever the fee is for that rider, it's coming out of the account value of your fake money, not your real money. So you said $100,000. So I got $100,000. This might be at 110, like you said. I'm paying the fee on 110.
It's calculated on the fake money.
Yeah, it's calculated.
It's coming out of the real money.
Yeah, it's coming out of the real money. But it's I mean, think about that. You have the money that you actually have access to. The fee on the fake money the fake bucket, which can be a significant fee, is coming out of your money. Yeah, it's just can't overemphasize that.
And then you're kind of trapped, like you said, Paul. You can't get out of there.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty significant surrender period and surrender charge. I mean, it's really sad because we try to help them as much as we can, but sometimes it's not feasible economically, mathematically to do anything. You just can't. And then I had a lady come in and her income, I said, okay, what'd you buy this for? Oh, I got guaranteed income. How much is it? I don't know. It's $90 a month. Okay. That's your benefit. $90 a month. So now
I hope she doesn't like to eat.
I mean, that was the right math, but so somebody sold her like a $40,000 annuity with an income rider on it. It's not going to generate a whole lot of income.
Oh
right?
my
So,
gosh!
I mean, they're all over the map. They're all over the map, and one of the things Evan and I were kicking around, I think it was the other day.
And then when you start to take an income out of it, it comes out of your real money, and you can disinherit.
Yes.
Explain that.
So I had a fella come in the other day with a variable annuity. So we were talking mostly about fixed index, variable annuity with an income rider. And he
Variable annuity, so you get to invest in stocks and bonds, traditional investment assets. Sometimes variable annuities can be useful. I only recommend them ever if it's no load, no commissions, but they can be useful. But you can have some of these riders on there that I'm not real fond of. But anyway.
Right. And this guy had the income rider on there. And so we were trying to restructure things for him, put a better strategy together for him. It was inherited money. He said, it's hard for me because this is my mom's money. And I said, well,
I'm
guess what?
disinheriting mom if I do anything with it.
Well, I said, well, if you turn on that income like you're planning on, guess what's going to happen? Those buckets are going to drain simultaneously. And that when that real money's gone, mom's money's gone. Okay? You'll still get paid for life.
Yeah.
But mom's money's gone. So if that's important to you, to try to save mom's money, that's not the right way to go about it.
And a lot of times that's the reason that people won't do anything with these things, because they can't stand the idea, especially as you get older, your priorities start to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me on that whole conversation is this conflation, conflating income with cash flow. And so this thought of, well, I'm getting 6% on my annuity. No, you're getting 5% of your own money back and 1% from the insurance company. So you're getting 6% out of the account, but that's not 6% income. And so, just even the terminology really obscures what's going on.
Yeah. And I've seen that before where they'll sell it as a return.
Right.
And you go, wow, that's a really good return, 6%. And as Kitts has said, he trains financial people all around the country. He says, you're just getting your own money back. You can't call that a return.
There is no free lunch.
So I think this is what everyone's
dishonest.
So the ratchet could be 7%. So this was a gas wars always going on. Somebody started selling them at 5. So okay, well I'm going to give you 6.
Right.
Well, I'm going to give you 7. So of course you're going to go to the one that's giving you the highest. So you got to. So I got a 7% ratchet. That's not how much you can get out. Like I said, the income's based on 50 to 60, 60 to 70, however old you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you only get a 5% drawdown. And then the other thing we talked about today, what they're sold on is, hey, since this is guaranteed, you could be as aggressive. You could put all your money in the technology fund because you ain't got to worry about it.
Here we're talking about variable.
Yeah, variables. Right.
Right.
The stocks and bonds you were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can do that, but the company has the right at their whim.
That's right.
To put you in the fixed account, okay? And so my crystal ball that never works, I say, when this was going on, when I was still working on the dark side at broker-dealer, I told my buddy then, I said, okay, these things were hot taters. They were going crazy. That's when they were going. And I said, and they had to you got to cook for 10 years. So you can't touch them for 10 years. You got to let them ratchet for 10 years.
Yeah.
So now they got your money so they can make their return. And I said, what's going to happen in 10 years, Mike, when all these billions and billions and billions of dollars of these variable annuities, they flip the switch and say, I want my income now. Give me my income.
Right.
Well, we've seen it happen. Companies are trying to buy them back. Okay, because they've guaranteed.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes,
they've guaranteed this to you, and they can't meet the guarantees. I'm going, hey, we'll just give you a lump sum payout, and please take your lump sum payout.
Go away.
So,
oh my goodness,
You got dosed by your annuity company.
yes,
yeah,
There's a buyout.
There you go. All right, guys. So that was good conversation. Yeah, that it is one of those things that people don't recognize, and even the investment advisors don't recognize. I don't think that they really know what they've got or what they're trying to sell, and they don't even understand it themselves, unfortunately. But they're out there. I was at an event. I was at an event not too long ago, and there was I'll just say it. It was a WTN event. And there was another financial person there. And he said, he was trying to sell me on the annuity. No joke.
I'll give him props anyway.
Yeah, gee, good luck. Good luck. And told me about this company's annuity. Well, I went and looked at the company product, and the state insurance commissioner had just a scathing review on the product.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No joke, had a scathing review on the product, and I talked about it. I'm guessing he might have been listening to the show because he hadn't talked to me since.
Real quick, Paul, real quick. So along those lines, I got an email they wanted me to be a guest speaker at an alternative investments conference.
Yeah.
And it's I can't pronounce this, Kiawah Island. It's a nice golf resort.
Oh, okay.
Off of South Carolina.
Oh, by Charleston. Yeah.
Yeah, just south of Charleston. So I called him. I said, hey, I would really love to come there and play golf at this, because since you're paying, I think it's the most expensive golf course, green fees. And I said, but I don't think you want me to speak. I said, I'd be more than happy to speak.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you're going to like what I have to say about alternative investments.
Well, it was like when I was asked to speak at day trading workshops. It just, I went over like, you know what, in church, right? Paul Winkler, Master Coaching Show. We're going to take a break and be back. I'll be back after this. Hey, just a note to you podcast folks, we just came out with a retirement income guide, and I'm super excited about this. There are all kinds of myths about taking income in retirement. People worry about running out of money, and rightfully so, because a lot of these myths can actually cause that. Now, the myths that you typically hear about, number one, like dividends, living off dividends in retirement, real estate, life insurance as a retirement investment, and annuities, and interest-bearing accounts, and target date funds. There are all kinds of things out there. What I want to do is put something together that walks through why those things are problematic, number one. Number two, the other thing that I wanted to do is walk through the evidence-based research on taking income in retirement. And we got a ton of data going all the way back to 1900. What's the logic behind it? And it's intensely logical. So we put that together, and all you have to do to download that, making it super simple, just go to paulwinkler.com/relax, and you can actually get into that very easily right there. So I would urge you to do that. Check it out, because I think you're going to really like it. paulwinkler.com/relax. All right. This is the Investor Coaching Show, Paul Winkler. And again, there is that income guide on the website. It is something that has been downloaded a lot over the past, it only came out like a week ago or something like that. We just had a ton of downloads on that. It's about the myths of income in retirement, and you can just check that out. Dividend stocks. People think, if I just have these stocks and they pay dividends and I'll just live off the dividends, and I can't run out of money because I'm just taken where the dividends are. And there are all kinds of problems with that. Fluctuating dividends, how much their payout, the companies that you're buying are distressed companies. I go through all of the issues on these things in this income guide. And you can go to paulwinkler.com/income. Real estate, the issues with that, it's a job. A lot of people don't recognize the problems with real estate and how demand for properties, taxation, government, the things that the government can do that can actually create issues for real estate. The issues with, of course, dealing with tenants, expenses, those types of things. And, a lot of times you have a lot of real estate in a stock portfolio as well, but you don't want that as the only asset category. So I walk through that. I walk through the annuity thing, and target date funds, they're problematic. Matter of fact, there was an article on target date funds and investors in general. Americans' 401ks are tied more to stocks than ever right now. Go figure. This is what American investors do. They look around, they see what the stock market's doing, and the fear of missing out kicks in. And they found this, they said in this article, it says Americans are increasingly investing 401k accounts in equities, stocks, influenced by market gains and money managers. So the money managers are shifting more of the money into stocks because they chase returns every bit as much as the general public does. They do the same doggone thing. Target date funds. That's where you just go, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to put my money in this 2040 fund because I'm going to retire in 2040, the year 2040, or 2050 or 2055. And they're designed to shift to bonds as retirement nears. And the problem with those things is sometimes they shift too much or too little, depending on your situation. So a target date fund is designed to be one size fits all. It doesn't fit anybody. But the problem that you run into with them is, and it's funny because I hear other financial people actually pick on this stuff, but I think they're picking on it for the wrong reason. Because when I look at how the investment choice, how they approach that, active stock picking, active market timing, overindulgence in large U.S. companies, and that's what this article is pointing out, that is what, it's not just investors that are making a mistake, it's the advisors as well. And here's what's happening is they're actually increasing more to stocks and increasing the stock market exposure, and they're increasing a lot of money is going into the companies that have been the winners in the recent past. And the investors are drawn to the stocks for higher returns, but the problem is that the area of the market that had done the best up to this year it's not even close. It's not the area that's done the best, but it hasn't gone down yet. So people are feeling a little bit still bulletproof because large U.S. companies are still up for the year. Not nearly as much as other asset categories, but it's making people feel a little bit bulletproof. It says workers across nearly all age groups are investing record proportions of their 401k accounts in stocks or equities. After years of relentless market gains, they're either allocating more to stocks or having it done for them by the money managers. And they found that workers in the late 30s had 88% of their 401ks in stocks versus they had about 10% less a decade earlier. So after the market went down, they invested less in stocks. After the market goes up, they're putting more in stocks. That is a very typical pattern of behavior for investors. Even with target date funds, which move money, the equity allocations has, for people just beginning their careers, went up to 92% from 85% just 10 years ago. So you're seeing that they're timing the market. This is what's called tactical asset allocation. That is the term that is used to makes it sound academic. It makes it sound like a good idea. In 2005, before target date funds became widely available, 401k investors younger than 25 had an average stock exposure of only 57%. That's how big of a change. Now, this is 2005. Now, why would it have been so stinking low how much they had in stocks back in 2005? Now, the answer is because you had 2000 through 2002. And investors, again, market timing is just, they don't call it that, but that's what they do. Now, that's one thing. The other thing that's going on right now is there was an article in Market Watch about private equity. And they said, why you don't want it in your 401k. And they said that the financial world calls private equity and what the government now wants to allow workplace retirement plans to invest in 401ks. And yet a lot of the details are still, they're not really clear. This one financial advisor says, I don't think most investors know what's in these funds that they invest in today. And they're especially not going to know what's in private equity investments. This guy is a private equity expert, and he talks about the liquidity problems. They're significant. You can't get your money when you need it. He says, how do we solve that? He says, put more money in fixed income. Well, shoot, what do you do there? You actually water down the returns when you do that if you want liquidity by doing that. It just makes no sense. Ugh.
Hey, this is Paul Winkler. Hope you enjoyed today's edition of the Investor Coaching Show. If you want to learn more about what we do, go to our website, paulwinkler.com. Until next time, I'm Paul Winkler, reminding you that I believe that more educated investors are more confident investors, and confident investors are more successful investors. Have a great one. Advisory services offered through Paul Winkler, Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Paul Winkler, Inc. does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.